Okay. I think we are on right now, and
I think we are.
I think it might be Sunday.
I think it is.
And speaking of Sundays, we drove by. Well, I drove by. I went down. We actually had Burger King tonight. We were like, "What do we want?" She's all upset. She's like, "I'm not cooking." I'm like, "I feel like a hamburger." So I went down. I got some Burger King. You know,
what's your go-to at Burger King?
I like the hamburgers, the actual hamburgers. I always have. I mean, it's mostly bread, but I like those. So I always get a Whopper and a hamburger.
Okay.
And some fries. They had the Whoppers 2 for $6, and they had the chicken sandwiches 2 for $6. So I got a couple of those and a couple of hamburgers, and she likes to give the hamburgers to the dogs for supper or whatever. So we had that. But going down and coming back, I go by a Dairy Queen, and they're open. And the line's wrapped around the building for Dairy Queen because it's like 70 degrees up here today.
Oh, it's a gorgeous day.
Yeah, it's nice. So, hi, everybody.
Update us on the dog.
Well, she took him to the vet today. Of course, she's got to they come out to the car and get him. She can't go in with him. So she's sitting in the parking lot, and I don't know if they call her or what, but they said they couldn't find anything wrong with his leg. But they're like, "Do you think he had a stroke?" And she's like, "Well, you're the vet. I would like to think you could tell me." So they said, "Well, what we think it might be an enlarged heart. So we want to do some X-rays and some blood work. So it'd be like $400 or $500." And she's just like, "It's his leg." And so she called me, and I says, if it's an enlarged heart or if it's a neurological thing, at 16 years old, there's not much we're going to do about it.
No.
So I'm like, I don't want to spend money on unnecessarily things right now with an animal. $100, do it, but $500 just to find out what's wrong, and then another $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 after that. I says, so she took him home, and they found nothing with his leg. That's the thing; they found nothing wrong with his leg. She's like, "Well, why is he just falling over?" She goes, "Well, do you think he had a stroke?" Again, it's like, you're the doctor. So he come home. She comes home from the vet, and he's bombing around the house. She couldn't even catch him. She's trying to catch him to get the leash off. He's bombing around the house. So, because he fell over this morning again. So he's losing control of his leg and falling over. So is he having a small stroke or some kind of I don't know what else would cause that. But he comes home and he's running around on it. Now it's still kind of like twitching on him, so we know that they said that he's got bad patellas or whatever it is, and one's really bad. So we know that. We know he's got some joint issues in his leg. But honestly, so she's gonna take him to the regular vet tomorrow and say, "Look, here's what's going on, and we're gonna try to figure it out. And if it's a neurological thing, it's just keep him as comfortable as possible at that point. Right? No, you can't do anything with that. If it's while his legs slip, I'm kind of hoping that we can put a brace. Like, how you get onto like CVS or, Walgreens, and you get one of those braces, you slip over, just give you some support. I don't know if they have one for dogs like that, but I'd be willing to do that. So put that on his legs so it doesn't start snapping out on him. So maybe it gives him some support. So that's what I'm hoping it might be. And so, by the way, if you're watching on Facebook, the comments is still not working on Facebook. So Andrew, Nate, and David, I see your comments here. Unfortunately, I cannot post them on the screen like I can with the YouTube stuff. It's still a glitch right now with the StreamYard software and Facebook. So I could read your comments and I can see them if I click away to the tab, but I can't post them here, unfortunately. So that is still the situation. Hi, Bruce and Laura.
Hello.
Good to see you. Oh, this is cool. So anyway, I bought a real cheap strat basketball game in season from this guy, right? And he's been pretty good. He's been following up and make sure I got the game. So I told him I got the game, and it was the 75-76. So I have the Braves. I have the Buffalo Braves.
Yes.
I got Bob McAdoo. So I set up for a game between the Buffalo Braves and the Celtics. JoJo White, Dave Cowens, Havlicek, I think, is on that team.
NBA champion that year.
Okay, yeah. So I go to play a game, and I'm flipping the cards over, and it's nothing like the new version. And so I read the instruction booklet, but the instruction booklet was the new version. So he sent me.
Oh no!
And no, I'm not putting the guy down at all. In fact,
I know that. Yeah,
he just got back to me. He got back to me and says, "What's your email? I'm going to send you some things." So he's been really good about it.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not dumping on the guy. So what he said.
I knew you
so
weren't.
The
just by your tone of
board,
voice.
the new board is like the hockey board. It's like one sheet. It's about this big, right? Like the one I sent you, the Canadians.
Yep.
That's the new basketball board. The old basketball board folds out like a game of Monopoly. It is a huge board. So everything is really different, and the cards are different. So you can't use the new fast action cards with the old player cards. They're not compatible, because if it says passing 30, there's no passing 30 on the old cards. So that's where I am right now. So yeah, so it's a good season. I just can't play it right now because I'm trying to read the directions, and I'm going to have to really come up with my own set of rules for this game right now, because it's really weird. It's all about, so when you win the jump ball for the opening face off, whatever it's called. Tip. Okay. So when you open tip in the new game, you flip it over and it says who gets it. And then you flip it over and it says what happens. In this one here, you choose who gets the ball and then you take an immediate shot. It's really, if I'm reading the directions correctly. So the old it's very, I'm reading the directions and I'm like, wow, I can't figure this out at all.
Mark, Dairy Queen is an ice cream outlet.
Yes, it's like a chain.
It's a fast food place. It's more than ice cream.
So let me just finish this story real quick here.
Yep.
Hi, Andrew. I'm trying to say hi to some people that are here right now as I just read off the story here. So what ends up happening is so I flipped the first card. I'm like, what do? I don't know. So then I read the directions. I just take a shot. And then what you do too is on the new version, you flip to see who gets the rebound. It says, like center rebound 5. So if the center has a rebound of 5, he gets the ball. If not, the other center gets it. In this game, you actually have to add up the players on the court. So you add up their offensive rebounds and the defensive rebound for the team. And whoever's higher gets the you actually roll on a chart, almost like the hockey face-off. So let's just say the Celtics had a +5 advantage on rebounds. You would roll the 20-sided dice, look in the +5 column, and to see who would get the rebound. It's really weird. It's a really weird way of doing that. So I didn't get very far in it. So I just sent the guy a message. He got right back to me and says, send me your email and I'll send you a couple things. So
excellent.
So I mean, I didn't spend a lot of money on it, so I'm not all upset, but I know I do have another season coming in. I think I don't know if it's 79-80 or 80-81 coming in. So I'm kind of hoping that's the newer style, because if not, I'm just gonna turn around and sell these old seasons, because I don't want to play the old style.
That's tough.
The new style flowed, and I had a great time with it. The one that Andrew sent me, I was like, bang, bang, bang. This is fun. That's why I ordered a couple old seasons. But
Kurt in the chat, when did they switch over to the new version? Because I don't know that. I don't remember. I bought 89.90 or 90.90. Must have been 89.90. Don't have it anymore, obviously.
79.80, the old version. So I'm not sure what I got coming in. I gotta check.
80, PJet says 80.81 is the first year. So
we'll have to see that. So you got a vestibular thing, maybe some minutes. Well, I'm kind of hoping that they find that. So I got to see what version I have here. So I really was unable to play it. I was kind of bummed. I really was. So
I pulled out the PC version today. Al had to try it for something he was doing, because he's had trouble with his since he got a new computer, and apparently I didn't activate all the seasons I have. And so I played a quarter of Celtics Lakers from this past year, and it had a blast. I don't really know many of the players, but it was a high-scoring, high-shooting game, or high-scoring quarter.
Nice.
So I think I probably will activate my 85, 86 season and do that. But my God, I got so many replays going on right now. I've got the hockey one I haven't touched in about 3 weeks. I've got the 86 Red Sox and Mets that, you just take an hour and knock out 3 games. That doesn't take very long at all. And so, and of course, everything I do for the channel, the action PC baseball and stuff. We're doing the golf in a couple days. Someone actually asked me for a Matt Keogh tribute game, and I'm torn on this, and I'll tell you why. Not that he was a pitcher for the Oakland Dave back in 80-81 when Billy Martin was there, and Martin ruined all those arms because he just wouldn't use his pen. And so usually I try to hold the tribute games to those who were legendary. Frank Robinson, Al Kaline, Henri Richard. There's Mark Moe. And I don't want to get in the habit, though, of if I do a tribute for everyone that passes away.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
And so if someone else really wants to see a Matt Keogh tribute game, let me know. But really, that is not, I don't really want to get into that and everything else. Not, the poor guy, his grandson died this week, too, or last week. And so 64 is so young.
Yeah.
64 is so young. Anyway, Max Cornelius, how you doing? I did a video today on Fightin' Chance Rugby, one of those Roberto Schiavini games, and that is the super quick play version. There's two versions of his rugby game, and I forget the name of his other. P-Jet, there is someone on Delphi who does that, and good for him. That's, it's very cool, and I think everyone is worthy of some sort of tribute, but there's only so much any games I can do in a week. And so there's a more advanced version of the rugby game that kind of like the Mud to Glory football. It's for tries and kicks and all that, and then you roll. So I just did the basic one today, and it's a 17-minute video. It plays so fast. And I think I got all the directions right. No one has told me I didn't.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch. I saw that pop up today, and I didn't get to it. I was actually, I was outside most of the day.
We didn't get out today. Sarah, we're out 3 hours yesterday, and so try not to, she's trying to rest. It was a busy morning, laundry day, and all that. Doing great. We ordered it, and you'll see it. Well, for you, it would be Wednesday morning the 6th, so no longer Cinco de Mayo, around 7 Eastern after we're done with Dave.
Yep. Tuesday. So supposedly Tuesday that's coming out. Yep.
Tuesday supposedly. Yeah.
And if you haven't heard it yet, Digital to Dice, we have the interview with Mike. That was
great.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of good feedback on that Digital to Dice episode there, as we talked to Mike about all kinds of things.
Everybody wants the Aunt Becky stuff.
Yeah, that's funny. That Aunt Becky's a big hit. It really is. And so So I'm kind of bummed about the basketball, but the guy sent me a message. He goes, send me your email.
He obviously tried to make it right, though.
Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, I want you to be. He goes, what do you think of the game? I want you to be happy. And I just said, honestly, I just sat down with it and had a heck of a time trying to figure it out because it's so different. So, but I mean, if the worst case thing is maybe I turn around and I try to sell it, and it you didn't send me the dice either. Not that it's that a big deal because I do have the dice, but you know something though, hold on, I'm wrong. Because there wasn't any dice in there. It comes with a ton of pawns. Okay. And I guess that's what you do in that game there. But when I read the instructions, okay, the new basketball has the dice with the D, the X, and the blank.
Right.
The old game was I think it was a white die and 2 black die. And the white die is almost like strat pitching, 1 to 3, 4 to 6.
Oh, okay.
That's why, because I was like, oh, there's no, I mean, I have a dice. It's fine. But I was like, I wonder why they're not in it. Because it's just regular dice.
50-50 for the offense or the defense to control the play.
Yeah. And so then you would read off of that. But no, the 3-pointer was weird too. Because it's like, if you take, but then again, I'm reading off the new instruction booklet. So
there's no 3-pointers that season.
Yeah, that's why. Because when I was reading the book, it's like there's no 3-pointers. So I was all confused, but I was reading the new book, and it didn't dawn on me that I was reading the new instructions. Because I said, "Boy, this example card looks very different than the card in there." So, yeah, we'll have to see. Lawrence, thank you so much. Yeah, that was probably one of our better digital to dices. It just because we both play that game. We know a lot of people playing the game. The new game's coming out. It was perfect timing for something like this, and we wanted to get in touch with somebody who was with the Dave Cook. I said it right, Cook. All right. So we finally got Cook right, and now we had at least someone with some inner workings of the Dave Cook games, which was kind of good. So that was fun. But yeah, so I had to drag so while she's at the vet with mouth number 2, I took mouth number 1 out. He hasn't wanted to go out lately. I get him down the street, and he's like, keep turning back towards the house. So I dragged him for the walk today. We didn't do the big walk. We did the medium walk. And so I think I'm going to give him a couple of days off from walking. He's all excited to go. And then we get out there, we get down there in the street.
He must be smelling something. There must be something that smell that you and I couldn't smell.
He keeps turning back to the house. It's like, what, dude? Let's go. And it's like he keeps like going around, going back towards the house. So I think I'm gonna give him a day off because it's just such a pain in the neck when it's like I want to get out here, and
you can get some rain. Maybe that will help. I bet it's something he's smelling or hearing.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. So I did that, and and then I come home and I went out in the yard again. Yesterday I cut the grass. Today I went back and way back by my back fence. It's all these sticks. They're like this big. You know what I mean? They're
little tiny branches. Yeah.
Yeah, tiny branches, like drumsticks, like a drummer's sticks. Yes. Like that size and about half that size. Yeah. And they're all over the place. And they've been collecting there. My trees are old, so everything's snapping off and whatever. So I finally went back there today, and I said, so I'm gonna I didn't do the whole yard because they're all over the yard, but I'm just gonna do the big areas. So I went down by the fence and I just raked all up by the fence and just get rid of all the sticks, and it looks really nice now. So maybe at some point I'll try to go and rake the yard. But I tried to get out. It was so nice today. I get outside, walk the dog, did that, had my headphones on, listened to some tunes. It was kind of fun. And then I was tired, and I come back in and crash. I actually put Chris on Tabletop Delaware. I had a baseball game on, History Maker Baseball. So I put that on.
Play of the Mets.
Okay, so I put that on, and I was listening to that, and I fell asleep. That's what I like to do.
Let's go Mets. Lawrence, it's kind of like do I like pistachio ice cream better or butter pecan? I like them both. I think Action PC streams better. I think the value you get for 2nd and 10 is second to none. 2nd and 10 is pretty much a dice game, a cards and dice game, and Action PC, we've talked about that before. So it really depends on what flavor you like. I probably wouldn't stream a lot of 2nd and 10 because it's a pure radio call. But
I tried the 2nd and 10. I didn't care for it. And Ron tried to walk me through it, and it just felt, I don't know what the word is. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It just didn't do it for me. I wasn't understanding it. And even when he was walking me through it, I wasn't understanding it.
I've played it for 20 years.
But I'm saying, I wasn't picking up on it. And it's like, man, if you're going to have to hold my hand for even some basic things, and you're like, no, now click here, now look over here, now, and I'm like, why am I clicking here? And how would I remember this? And it's just none of it made sense to me. And even there was sometimes you were like, well, click on this, and I couldn't. I was like, it's not letting me here. I don't know how to do that. It was way more.
Action PC is more friendly out of the box.
Yeah, it was way more difficult than I was expecting it to be. And even when I got it to run, I was not impressed with how it ran. But the value is good.
Yeah, you get everything. Robbie, join the group on Facebook. The catalog was posted there.
The Roberto group, right?
Yeah, the Roberto group.
Nice.
And so 2nd and 10 is the 2nd generation. I remember playing a game called 1st and 10.
Oh, really?
Which was a pure card and dice. You would basically, it was an Excel spreadsheet. And so you cut and paste, copied and pasted the two teams in there. You hit a magic button. It calculated all the ratings for you, and then you printed it. This was before things like Ball Roller and stuff. And so, oh my God, I played like 2 games. It was, those 2.5, 3 hours to play a game. I played the Patriots in Carolina the year that they were in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So yes, when the computer game came out, that was better. But no, it's an underrated game. I think it could be. I'm not sure it's been developed to its full potential, but there. So go ahead. We talked about that earlier, but go ahead.
Yeah, she took the dog to the vet today, like the emergency weekend vet. She's like, he fell over again, and we get down there, and because of all the protocol, she basically has to like hand him out the window and stay in the car. So the dog has to go in by itself, poor thing. And so she they looked at him and said, we can't find anything wrong with his leg. Can't find anything wrong with his leg, but we want to x-ray him to see if he's got an enlarged heart and do some blood work. It's going to be $500. And she's just like, it's a leg. Well, the heart could be affecting it. It's like, do you think it had a stroke? And it's like, well, you're the doctor. So she's like, give me back my dog. What do I owe you for the visit? And I'll go to my vet in the morning. So that's what we're going to do. She's like, every time I try to talk to this woman, she kept talking over her. It's like, do you want to hear what I'm seeing at the house? And it is. So it's like, and I know they're the doctor and they know better, but it's like, well, he's got a patella problem in his leg. Well, we know that, but, so it was just like, well, what are you going to do? And so I just said, bring him home. Let's not even bother with this place. It's like, if they had found something and whatever, but they didn't find anything. So she's looking at him today. She goes, I think he might've had a stroke, like a small one. Cause she brought him home. Okay. She brings him home. She's all upset. And she gets him in the house, and he's got his leash on, and he's bombing around the house. And she's trying to catch him.
That's not true. I never talk over Dave. Oh, wait.
She's trying to catch the dog, and the dog's like running, seriously running through the house. I'm like, if this is a dog with a bad leg, you'd never know it. So what do we do? What do we do with that? So she's all upset. So she's going to take him to the vet tomorrow, to our regular vet, or at least call and talk to them and see when we can get in. But Flinner, I see Flynn's on here on Facebook. The Facebook comments are not working tonight, so I can read them if I open up my Facebook tab, but I cannot post them. So you're playing Civilization 5 campaign with a buddy across the country. Ooh. Oh, didn't somebody tell him about the? I don't know if he told us or somebody told him about playing Civ 5.
Diplomacy. We were talking about playing
Diplomacy.
Online.
Okay, yeah. So that's good for that, but I can't post your comments unless you get on to YouTube. Sorry about that. Good.
Yep. DC, it's a great value. And the one thing that 2nd and 10 does that you can't do in Action PC is you can set it up to play like everything playing in the background, and you can switch from game to game. So let's say you start with the Patriots and the Jets, and that turns into a blowout. You can go to a more competitive game. You can set up a double header if you want. You don't have to do it all at once. But again, you either like the game or you don't. It really is the half-pregnant thing, I think, with 2nd and 10. And I do think that Action PC, especially with last year's version, really just became very user-friendly right out of the box.
Yeah, I had a hard time with some of the older ones, and then I had a hard time with back in the day when you called up the schedule. I didn't know how to play as a team. I didn't know that you had to click on the H or the C because they were really small.
Yep.
Now I think it's a little bit bigger, right? Everything's
all 4 sports had the schedule pages reworked.
Yeah,
and you're right. Nice. They knew when basketball and hockey come out this next year, they'll have the logos because baseball and football has it. It just looks so much better.
I hope so. Yeah, when you have the logos on the schedule, it does look nice. The colors are fine, but it does when you have the logo, it's a little extra.
I got spoiled with the baseball game.
Yeah,
to do that. So
yeah, so I never got to anything today. Needless to say, I wanted to start my Kill the Power Play hockey project with the 8 Stanley Cup finalists that I talked about from 67 to 74. Obviously, that really didn't happen. And we took the dog to the hospital. I walked my dog. I worked in the yard, and it didn't happen. And actually, I had a friend of mine from high school called me tonight, and we chatted for a bit and talked music, and the whole bit was kind of fun. I haven't talked to him in quite some time, and I guess he's buying a new guitar. And I was like, man, I haven't played mine in a long time. Although I did have a dream. I picked up my guitar last night to show Al, I think it was. I showed Al and chat with Al last night. And I had a dream that I was playing guitar. I did. I had a dream that I was jamming with somebody and playing. So I played in my sleep last night. Yeah, just I'm not blaming the place, but sometimes like, okay, hand me your dog and your credit card, and I'll give you a call. That's what it feels like. And I know they're gonna get payment up front because it's not the worst, and they're working on the dicking around with payments. I get that, And I suppose if the dog was bleeding, they would have taken him right in. I don't doubt that for a second. But yeah, it's like every time you call, okay, well, if you want to walk in the door, it's for a visit, it's this, and for
Oh yeah, we have a emergency vet, and it's $100 just to walk in the door, and so we've never done it. Thankfully, the only time that we came close with them, Sarah bought some cheap flea spray or something like that, and Emmy got lethargic in a hurry.
Oh, really?
Her personality changed. Like, oh my God, what are we doing? And so what we did instead, because we didn't want to, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, Sarah comes home from work with his cat, and we don't drive, so it's not like you have to call a cab to go to the vet for $200. There was actually a service online you could pay for. It's like $20, and you could talk to an emergency vet that way and describe the symptoms, and they just talked you through it. It was a chat and describe the symptoms and what happened and that. And so they said if she, we had to give her a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Bathing a cat is so much fun. I don't know if you've ever done it. And then see how she felt. And if she didn't get any better by morning, obviously take her to her regular vet. She felt better. That's what it was. But we spent $20 as opposed to 125, 150.
Right.
So if it happens again tonight or whatever, take a look at that. Like I said, $20 is a hell of a lot cheaper. And the person seemed, it was a good customer service experience. Hello, Mr. Red Sox fan. So,
yeah. So we're going to go hopefully talk to a regular vet and see how that goes. But I mean, it could be, if it's neurological or something like that, it's like, what can you do?
Keep him comfortable at that point.
Yeah, that's all I can do. But it's just, if he's having mini strokes, then there's nothing you can do. So, but anyway, there's Al's in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I did chat with Al last night.
Good for you.
Boy, yesterday was a long day here on the computer with the headphones on. My ears were red because I did Digital to Dice with you, and we did that interview with Mike, and that was probably from like 10:30 to 12:30. By the time I get done editing all that, and then we did an hour and a half last night, me and you, and then I went and I couldn't sleep. I was the dog thing was on my mind. I just couldn't sleep. But I'm laying in bed. It is, and so it's with everything else going on.
It's the last thing you needed is that.
It's like, and I get my issues. I'm still waiting for a call from the heart doctor to see what my diagnosis is. And now the dog, it's just, and then, nothing is normal right now. And it's just like going on, but it's just, so I was laying in bed and I just had my phone. I was watching YouTube videos. I think I was watching, the This Week in Pro Football Week 2, 1975 or something like that. It's just fun to watch. I like watching that stuff there. And Al sends me a message. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just watching YouTube videos. I can't sleep. He's like, all right, let's do a chat with Al. So we did chat with Al till about 1 last night. And I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
A reverse cough. Yeah. And you wonder how good the diagnoses are, too. Sometimes it's just like, we stopped going to one of our vets because we would bring the dog in, the husky we had. They look them over and say, well, this and that, just keep an eye on it for a couple weeks and give you a call. So we go in, spend $150 to look around at some little stuff, and then it's like, yeah, just keep an eye on her. It's like, Jeep is creepy. It's like we would go and get no answers. So finally we stopped going. It's like, we need to get the dog to the vet. I'm like, why? So we can go in and pay $150 to say to keep an eye on her? So yeah, it's just kind of frustrating. Yeah, last night was a good time.
Our vet only does cats, which is fine because we have a cat. And we've used her for years.
What if you have a dog that identifies as a cat?
We are in Vermont. It is a legitimate question.
Meow. You're not a cat. Meow.
When we tried to give Emily a feline companion. Sarah wanted another cat, and so they allowed us to have 2. And so we tried it for.
Oh, you said weeks. Yeah, that didn't go well. That didn't go well at all.
Emily was barking like a dog at one point. No, so yes, our cat. Of course, my dad died like a week and a half into it, and so really, you just with only one able body. Not that I ever feel bad about my disability or anything like that, but what needed to happen was one of us with one cat and the other with the other cat when they tried to eat at the same time, so they could get used to each other. But get the glow. Oh, Floby, yeah, illegal. Can't do that. What if you have a weirdo who identifies as a Bruins fan? Just be glad he doesn't identify as a Maple Leafs fan, okay?
Yeah.
And so, that ended. We had a life service from my dad in the town that my folks lived in, and we were going to leave the two together overnight. And so the weekend before, we were told that this was a younger cat. No. You were also told this was an indoor cat. No.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah. And so it really was 2 alpha bitches going at each other. And so Sarah is, someone finally said, put them in a neutral room, like the bathroom. Okay, so we did that. So Emily's smell wasn't there. The other cat smell wasn't in there. They got into it in the shower. Sarah had to do her best impression of Selma.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
Selma and fire hose the cats. And the next night, she went to do laundry and found that Emily had pooped in the shower. The other cat literally scared the shit out of her.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
Thanks, Mark. I'll tell that story real quick. He was a ski rider. Big Clue says it sounds like a meeting of your ex-wives. Do they? He was a writer for Ski Racing Magazine, so I will be doing some skiing on my channel at some point. And he literally submitted what turned out to be his last article.
Mm-hmm.
He got up, he poured himself a cup of coffee, he leaned back in his recliner and died. You can't do it any better. Well, maybe if you were undressed with someone you love.
My father-in-law did it.
What a way to go.
Yeah.
Doesn't get easier for those of us who are still here, but what a way to go.
Yeah, my father-in-law, we went out, we played golf. It was a 9-hole course, but we ended up, there's a way that you can sneak back and play a few extra holes. We probably played, 12 or 13 holes of golf that day. Went out to Friendly's, had lunch. I think I had the day off or something like that. Or no, I think I had the day off. And so I, come home. I dropped him off at his house. I come home, and he went in. A couple hours later, he had dinner with his wife. He went out on the deck and died. Just like that. So he went out. He played golf all day with me. We went out. We had a nice lunch at Friendly's. Nice. Dropped him off at his house. He had dinner with his wife, and he went out. He went on his porch and just passed away right on the porch, like that. And it was just like I get the phone calls like, "What do you mean? I just played golf with him." You know what I mean? We were playing golf all day. What do you mean he's dead? So it was just, but yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yep. It'll be 4 years in November. He got up, he poured himself a cup of coffee, he put the coffee down, he leaned back and died. No struggle, didn't reach for his phone, didn't reach for the coffee, wasn't even grabbing his chest, when they found him.
Yep.
My poor mother. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way to, there's no good way, but I suppose, because you didn't get to say bye, but there's like my next door neighbor here, his dad, there was his mother and father lived in the house, and they were really old, and his dad went into care and for years never recognized him. That is tough. He goes in there to visit his father. His father's like, "Yeah, hi, who are you?" "Oh, I'm your son." "Oh, I have a son?" That's
oh my God. That's what I worry about with my mother, because she'll live to be forever.
Yeah.
And there was no, he had already had a stroke, but there was no, okay, when do we pull the plug?
Yeah.
How do you do that with a parent? That's, wow. Yeah. Grandparents drove out to their garden about a mile from their house and got to work, and grandma fell asleep on the drive back and never woke up. Yep. That's how you do it. That's exactly how you do it.
Yep. So to get back on the happier thing, I know we brought this down a little bit. I was kind of bummed. I tried the basketball game tonight, but it was so old that it was very different. And the instructions were it came on a sheet, right? The instructions, and they were microscopic. I don't know how they expected anybody older to read that.
I don't know if they expected anybody older to play these games.
It was tough. And so I'm trying to read the directions, and I was like, wow, these are bad. I'm glad they reworked the game, because these instructions were bad. It just didn't look like it was any fun. And so I don't know if I'll get to play that season or not. The guy is going to send me a file to see if that'll help anything or not. But yeah, so hopefully the new one, I get 80-81 coming in. So I think that's the new season.
That's the first of the new one. Someone told us earlier.
So at least I'll be able to play that, because the new one flowed. The basic action cards are so much better. So yeah, so I was kind of happy with that. Let me see. I was gonna play some shootout hockey today, and then I never got to that. I wanted to play my Edmonton, New Jersey from '83. Remember I told you it was 13-2 or something like that. That Edmonton crushed New Jersey, and Wayne Gretzky said it was a Mickey Mouse operation. So I was going to play that game because I have that in shootout hockey. And who was it? Was it Andrew that was posted in Digital to Dice today that he was playing shootout hockey?
I think Andrew is playing shootout hockey.
Yeah, he was posting. He was playing shootout hockey today. So I was, and I uploaded a new score sheet. So I found somebody had on Delphi had a score sheet, and I downloaded. It was pretty good, but it had too many slots for goals and not enough for penalties because usually there's more penalties than goals. I think they had, I don't know, 12 or 13 slots for goals and like 9 or 10 for penalties. So what I did is I took out a couple of the goal columns, so it's only got 10 goal columns, and I added them to the penalties. So that's how that went there. So I uploaded that. I guess he's using that. I haven't had a chance to use it. I did print it out, but I think that's going to work better than the one I had for shootout hockey.
Todd B is right. Just be thankful you never bought the app basketball game.
I heard that's a long game.
You remember that you've heard the story about the Japanese soldier who didn't realize the war had ended 30 years later?
Yeah.
That same idea that someone started a game in 1975 and they finished it in about 2010.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about the basketball is Chris Delaware was talking about how he plays basic because if you played advanced, I mean, it's a long game in basic. You know, it's a way over an hour a game just to play it quickly in basics. But if you tried to play advanced and you tried to have to stop and figure out things, holy smokes, that'd be a 2.5 hour game. I suppose it'd be immersive, if that's the correct word.
Yeah. I was supposed to use Big Clue wanted me to use a big word tonight. If I use the word latency, what would that mean to you?
Oh, jeepers. Latency is all about video games. You know,
see, he knew it, Big Clue.
Yep.
Flinner. Is there much latency in that game? I don't know what the delay is on StreamYard. It's about 2 or 3 seconds on Twitch.
I think it's a pretty decent delay.
Yeah.
Because I when I post, it goes up quick because it's I'm in the loop. But yeah, if I'm on Facebook,
we see each other in real time.
It's probably I say it might even be 10 seconds.
That's not too bad.
Could be 10 or 15 seconds. It might be because I know I'll post stuff and people won't read it for if it feels like 10 seconds. So
when I did the Nats, covering the Nats, and watched them through MLB TV and had the live tweet games, I was a good 60 seconds behind. So I would generally know if one of the if something happened and I saw a beat writer say it, I knew what I was going to see, and that's tough, because there's a delay from the game to the facility for high definition and all that, and then there's the other lag. But yeah, 60 seconds. So it's like 2 pitches. I was always 2 pitches behind.
Well, sometimes I'll try to follow like a football game on my phone. Like I'm laying in bed, it's like I don't want to watch TV, so I'll call up the game on my phone, and it's the game day screen. Right, if you've ever seen that,
yeah, I have.
And boy, that takes it. I don't know how many plays that's behind, but it's because I'll be watching that and I'll get up and say go to the bathroom and I'll flick on the radio and it'll be like, all right, so they're at the 10-yard line and it's first and goal, and I'll go back in bed and put on the phone and they're still 4th and 2 at the 50-yard line, so I know I've missed a whole bunch of plays, so it is far behind. It's kind of a pain in the neck. Actually.
You've got the X1 box because you've got Xfinity, and I've got the X1 box. So for Game 7 of the World Series, because I never watched Joe. I just don't usually use sound when I watch. I wanted to listen to the Nats radio call. And trying to line up the TuneIn app on Madam Speaker to the television was a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
And because the TuneIn was about 40 seconds behind. But when I realized that, everything is DVR'd. So I was able to do it. So
if you pause it and let it catch up.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I had to do.
Some people do that. A lot of people do that. They'd rather listen to the radio, so they put on the radio.
So much more. I mean, I know you're not a baseball fan. Charlie Slows and Dave Jegler, who call the Nats games on radio for WJF, the Fan 105.7, are so much better than their television people. And so that's how I would do the games, unless they were on ESPN, was by Charlie and Dave. And so, what a great way to watch that. Anthony tried Battlefront earlier.
Yeah, they had an update, and I think they had a new map, and I think they had some. You could play single player in the new map. So I was just wondering if that was indeed the case. I meant to break that out. Like I said, my weekend's been really weird.
Not only do we have a radio broadcast, if you hit the SAP button on your remote, Fernando Valenzuela and Jaime Yarin will do it in Spanish for you.
Yeah, just close your eyes.
It's better looking if you close your eyes. You can picture Brad Pitt and George Clooney instead of us. But
that's right.
Or Pizza Hut.
I was I don't know, Scott's not in here yet, but I was watching the 1985 college championship on TV the other day. Boy, that was weird. Seeing Providence playing, I think it's Providence, BC in Providence, I think it was. Just seeing the rink with no ads.
Oh, yeah.
And the equipment on the players was ancient. And one of the linesmen had the old style skates, the metal. And it was really weird. It was, Stephen A. Smith, what I used to do is, a couple of years ago when I used to walk the dog, I used to try to get out like right around 10 o'clock and I used to listen to Shine on Sports. I like, was it Adam Shine? I like Adam Shine. And then his stick got a little old. But I used to listen to him every day. But I would, try to catch him. And then if not, I would listen to a little bit of Stephen A. because I'd listen to satellite radio. But boy, after a while, it's like these guys, their sticks just run so.
Oh, it's the same thing over and over.
It's like, I like Shine, but he's just like, congratulations. Like week 2. Congratulations on a Super Bowl victory this year for the New England Patriots. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I feel bad for you. Your season's over. And then Philadelphia beats New England in the Super Bowl. So it's like he played that shtick for weeks. And it's just like, I'm just tired of that. And then it was, and then he dumped all over that emergency goalie. He's like, this is amateur hour. You bringing a guy out of the stands and play professional hockey.
The one that beat Toronto?
Yeah.
Or the Chicago's from a couple of years ago.
No, this is this year. This is the Carolina guy. He's like, how do you bring in a guy? No other professional sports.
Walter Mitty story.
Can you bring in a guy out of the stands and play? This is amateur hour. The NHL needs to get it together. He was dumping all over the NHL. I was like, wow, I see your point. But I says, how often does this happen? And it's just such a feel-good story that someone gets to come in on an emergency basis for a period or so, live out a dream. He'll never play again. And it's a good story to tell. You don't bring in people out of the stands to pitch. It's like it's completely, goaltending is completely different. And you got a guy that's been practicing with the team. So it's not like you pulled him out of the stands. He practices with the team. Now he's not good enough to play, but you don't carry 3 goalies with you. You don't, and the chances of losing both in the same game are pretty remote. And that's why you have this contingency. So his shtick at old Stephen A. He's just he's a one drum, one beat drum, whatever you want to call that. One Johnny one note, and it gets old. And he's angry all the time, and it's just I can't listen to him anymore. And
Rome is at least intelligent. Cow and Cowherd just
it'd be nice if we could someday. You never know. I mean, the thing about doing this though is it's good practice for if I get behind the mic and do my hockey again, or if I do any shows. It's good practice.
Trying to fill an hour and a half of airtime. We don't talk about what we're going to talk about in advance. When we're doing it, you don't know what's going to happen in the course of a game. You know how long it's going to take, roughly.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what the mood of the chat room is going to be. It's all improv.
Yeah. But I did that when I did the hot pots going by yourself. I did we do the game. I haven't done the Game Hounds in a while, probably about a month now since all this started. But there was one time that neither the other 2 people couldn't do the show, and I was like, I'll do it myself. And I did an hour and a half show all by myself, and I had a little bit of chat room talk. But boy, I tell you, try that sometime. Get in front of a microphone, even if you're not live anywhere. Try to talk for an hour and a half and keep it engaging. And I did a pretty decent job of it, I'd have to say. It was challenging. If anything, it was challenging, but it was a fun time. It was a fun time, and you just talk and you go off and you just kind of talk with yourself and pretend that the people are listening. And sometimes late at night, not so much anymore, but back in the day with talk radio, you'd have people that would just talk at night, and there'd be no phone calls and there'd be no interaction.
Larry King was great at that.
And these people they would come up with a question and then they would answer it themselves, and it was just I remember one person, I don't know if it was a man or a woman. I think it was a woman actually, and she's just like, what would you do with $1 million? If all of a sudden something happened and you got $1 million, what would you do? And so you said, what would I do? And then she starts talking, and she'd be like, well, I think the first thing I would do would be this, because I've always wanted to do this. And then I would probably do this. And she just talked about all the things that she would do. And she filled up the whole hour talking, and it was entertaining as heck. And it really was. So, yeah.
He's with Kellerman right now. No. Oh, yeah. Skip Bayless.
Yeah, I saw. Oh, it doesn't have real hockey teams. Okay. I saw that you posted that. Where was that? Sports Replays? And that's Sealock's in our group, I think.
He is.
So I'm surprised that he didn't post it. So I'm gonna go check it out. So the Mike Sealock games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got Breakaway, his hockey game, and then down the bottom you said he's got the minor leagues, yeah. Downtown hockey.
There you go.
Interesting to see what that's about. So it's for the minor leagues. So it's an Excel sheet. Oh, he's got Providence and Bridgeport.
You can show that. We won't get in trouble for that.
Sure. Hang on 1 second.
So while we're in that, so I had some leftover wings for dinner tonight, and so all this talk of cereal and stuff. When I went to CVS the other day, I bought myself a box of Fruit Loops.
Oh, and nice.
Dry bowl of Fruit Loops for dessert tonight.
So that's what we got here.
Okay.
Let's see. So
try that again.
What happened? Oh, because I enabled editing. Right, let's try that now. Are we there?
Yep. All right.
Let me zoom it in a little bit.
Zoom.
So Bridgeport and Providence, blah, blah, blah. Offensive rating team. First period, second period, third period.
Oh, so it's kind of a classic hockey.
Yeah.
Take off by period.
So I got the +1, the -2, the +1. It's got that's good. He walked you through it. That's good. There you go. Oh, you can rate your own. That's neat.
And a league rating, so you can do it that way too. Ooh,
that would be. I'd like to go back and do some of the old.
I like that.
Worcester Ice Cats seasons. So goals per game times 6, rounded a whole number, just divide by over 3. Oh, look at that.
Very cool. Very clever, Black and Decker.
I might have to do this for an old Ice Cats season.
So you got the AHL.
I like how he did that. Yeah.
He's great with the logos,
If it's that simple to do, I'm going to definitely go back and do an old Ice Cats season from like 94, 95 or something like that. East Coast, the Federal, Southern, the USHL.
Oh, and juniors. He's got the 4 junior leagues too, the OHL.
Hang on. I'm still on something here. Hang on. I was trying to see if they had the team that I did, because I did some USHL games this year, but these are all the bigger ones. OHL, HL,
hey, Quebec Junior Hockey League,
and NHL, NA. Boy, I tell you, NAHL.
I'm not sure there's any macros there, Mark. So I think it might.
Northeast Generals. I think that might be a Massachusetts team. No, well, Maine Nordiques. I think the Northeast Generals are in southern Massachusetts. That's pretty cool that he set that up.
Nice. Have a good night, Steve. I don't think there's any macros there, so I think you could run it in Open Office.
What is Open Office?
It's the free version. It's the alternative to Excel.
Yeah, that'd be fun if I could go back to if you just have the team records with all the goals and you plug in, you can get the numbers.
Yeah, I told you how to rate their own.
That would be something. That'd be fun. I don't know if you have to, but I mean, it's just a spreadsheet. It didn't seem like it had anything going on in there.
Because a lot of the spreadsheets do have macros and stuff there, but
So, but yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
Robbie.
So, all right, Apple Chat is heading out. Everyone says it's going to be over soon. There was some girl I watch on YouTube once in a while. She hasn't been on in a while. She come on today. She was just like, 15 days to stop the spread. And then it shows her in like a graduation outfit, 15 days to stop the spread. And then she's in a wedding gown, 15 days to stop the spread. And then she's pregnant, 15 days to stop the spread. Then she's an old lady, 15 days to stop the spread. And that was the whole video.
That's funny.
It's like, yep, it's like it's 15 days, 15 days, 15 more days, 15 more days. Oh, man.
Oh, the baseball game is inning by inning, too.
Oh. I got a Roberto Schiavini game. I got to get that baseball game going. I played that. That was inning by inning too, and that was kind of a fun game.
No, it's just team scores, Mark. It's just a final score thing. The Mike Seelock games, they're fun, but they're so you could theoretically do it with your UK league or your English league.
Yeah, I like the fact that he put the formula in there to figure that out, because I'd go back and find some AHL games and plop that in and play some of my old Ice Cats teams, or just do a series or something.
HockeyDB.com, that's where you find most of that stuff.
Yeah, because the Pro Hockey Reference, that would be just NHL, right?
I don't believe there's a lot of AHL stuff on there. So
let me check.
You never know.
Yeah, I don't think well, if you don't put in reference, you get some weird stuff.
Yeah, don't share that.
No, I mean, it's just like it goes all the hockey sites, you know.
Right.
So yeah, it's all majors. There's no minors here. But yeah, I think you might be right. HockeyDB.
Yep.
Hey, you know what's funny? Speaking about the Ice Cats, when I used to do the report writing for that magazine, I would go to some of these Ice Cats and I'd sit behind people, and they would have HockeyDB open the entire game.
Found it when I was that 2 months I was writing about the Capitals. It was much better to use than Pro Hockey Reference.
American Hockey League.
In my experience, too many sports simmers enjoy college sports. I think it depends on what part of the country you're in. College football and college basketball are, of course, big in the South. And so, yes, for sure.
So, yeah. So here is this is for Bruce and Laura.
Oh,
Worcester Ice Cats expansion team. They said they won't win 20 games, and they won 24 games. Good for them. I should replay that season. Look at Robbie Fatorik, head coach at Albany. They won the championship. Robbie Fatorik
in Portland. Stevie Casper with Providence.
Paul Gillis with Springfield, huh? Pete Mahavlich
with the Oilers. Wow. John Van Boxmeer with Rochester.
Yep.
Oh, you can go down and see the covers of the.
Al Hill is a Rangers guy, I think.
Okay.
What can I do? Oh, the program covers.
Yeah.
I think I might have that. I bought a program when we went to Hershey that year. Oh, yeah. Worcester Ice Cats player profile inside an inaugural season.
Nice.
I still think I got some tickets from the inaugural season. That's we got a picture of Sharon with this guy. Jim Nesich is his name. He's the captain of the Ice Cats. Remember I told you we went to Hershey, and when we come out, the guy from Hershey brought us down, and we got pictures with the team. Yep. Worcester Ice Cats.
So Denny Shalafov.
Yeah, we met him. Sean Heafy. He was small. He was like 5 feet tall. Yep. We met. Yep. Dave Bags Basigio, Jason Woodman. Do you know who the guy that did radio was John Weideman?
Okay.
John Weideman now does the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, nice. So he's got to call a couple cups.
Yep. And I don't know if he's radio or TV. I think he's radio. Walt Podubny played for him. If you remember Walt Podubny.
Yeah, I do remember that name.
And the goal. And my Ice Cats jersey. I have the Les Kunta Ice Cats jersey, number 29, Les Kunta. Yep. Wayne Colley was an older guy. Les Kunta. We talked to him at the bar one time. He was kind of a nice guy. But Jarrett Dooling, David Haas. Yep.
Sean Kane was from Holyoke.
They had a lot of local guys here. Good time. This is a fun team. Yeah, Holyoke, Sean Kane.
John Carter from Winchester.
Yep. Chris Valasevic. He didn't play much.
Grady from Sandwich. Tom Cole from Woburn.
Rob Melanson was the fighter. We talked to him. Nicest guy.
210 penalty minutes.
Nicest guy. Rob Melanson, nicest guy. We went to the bar after the game. They're all in there. He turns around, hi, I'm Rob Melanson. I'm like, hi, I know. It's like, I seen you play. Don't beat me up. I'm small. So yeah, so that is the Ice Cats from that. You see, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna go back, and if all I need to do is plug in the goals for, right? So the goals for in the team record and the goals against or something like that. It looks like yeah. Right. Good times, right?
I watched a few minutes of the first period. I don't remember which hockey game it was. It didn't say in the YouTube description. 75, 74, 75 finals. Boston, Philly. What year did they play in the final?
Hockey or baseball?
Hockey. I know baseball.
74. They played in the finals.
So it's one of those games. And someone in the comments where I saw more penalties that would have been called in the first period of today's game than ever.
Yep.
Okay. Wowzer.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago when we went to the Railers game. They had, I think it was opening night, and they brought in the mascot for the shark, the Ice Cats. That was Scratch, the Ice Cat mascot.
We talked about Scratch before.
Scratch is so good. Scratch is so good. So I had my old Ice Cat shirt on, so I got a picture with Scratch. I put a little effect on there to make it neat. That's why it's so blurry. But yeah, that's a picture of me with Scratch the mascot. Opening night for the Railers. That was such a good night. They did. It
was.
Because it was opening night for the new team in Worcester. It's East Coast team. The fact the guy that owns the team lives in my town, and that's over an hour away. It's kind of funny. And so I ran into him, and I says, hey, I'm probably the only guy in my town that I live with you, and I have season tickets. And he actually gave us like a $50 gift certificate to the restaurant behind it. He goes, really? That's so awesome. Thanks for supporting the team. Here, go get some food after the game. So the four of us went, and that's like $25 or $50 gift certificate to some place behind it. Yeah, it's kind of neat. All the players showed up after and the whole bit. It was a good time. But so opening night there, they brought back a lot of the old Worcester stuff. They brought in the Ice Cat stuff, the Shark stuff, and it was just so cool seeing the Ice Cats mascot out there again, because he was a big part of that presentation. It was a good time. That was one of the best nights there. They had Bobby Orr and Sanderson there dropping pucks one night. They had was it Phil McCracken from Slapshot, Dr. Hook? He was there one night. So they had a lot of people in there. It was kind of fun. And they didn't charge to take pictures of these people either. Or you couldn't get near but the guy from Slapshot you could, and Scratch. And then they had a Star Wars night, and they had all these people dressed up with Star Wars figures in the entrance.
May the 4th be with you.
Yep. So I'm not sure what day they had that. But every couple of weeks they had a special promotion. It was fun. Either you got a bobblehead or a magnet or something. So they did a good job their first year. But yeah, so that's fun. I'm glad I saw that, and you picked up on the creating your own teams, and I'm going to do that because I've never done that.
That's awesome.
Yes, so I could do some fun teams, some fun seasons with that.
You'd love it too.
Yeah, and I wonder if that would work with the pros. I wonder if you could set up, something like that. Yep. I sat in the Hershey Park Arena last row, and how it's shaped is it's curled at the top. It's like a dome, right? And if you're in row Z or ZZ or whatever the hell row I was in, you literally went like this to sit in your seat, because if you stood up, you would have hit your head on the ceiling. So you had to bend. You could sit fine, but your head was right against the roof, if you follow, and it was curved. So you couldn't stand up in your seat. You had to lean over, scoot out, kind of bent over, and then you could stand up. But you couldn't stand up if you're in your seat. So if you stood up the chair, bonk, man.
Don't do that, Gardner.
Yeah, I know, right? And the scoreboard, like everything was done by hand, not the lights, but like all the matchups, because it was like, hey, here's the matchups coming up this week. Everything was like the sliding things up there by hand. Nice. Poor bastard had to climb up there, do that, almost like the like you see on the old signs on the side of the road, like the movie theater or something like that. Now playing everything.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, yep, that too. So, but that's how old it was back then. I don't know if I have any pictures of that, but it was but that was fun. the old Hershey Arena there, sitting in there, and in fact, a funny story about the Hershey Arena, right? Back in this was probably that game we went to, right? They this is 95, 96 we went, and they didn't have the glass all around the rink back then. Okay, they had it behind the nets, but the penalty boxes were open. Okay, there's no glass. Like now it's all glassed in. The only thing that's not glassed in is the benches nowadays, right? But back then, the penalty boxes were wide open. Right in the middle of the game, there's old guys in the penalty box, and he's getting ready to open the door for the guy in the box, right? Bald older guy. And he was sitting there because he was right below us. He took his head, right, leaned over, and he looked. And I think he actually looked to his right to see what was going on. Right when he did that, someone rifled the puck around the glass, and he stuck his head out, and you heard, it hit him right in the top of the head, and you heard the puck hit his head, and everybody he's like, stunned in there. But imagine that. He's sitting there, what's going on? I just want to see, I'm going to let this guy out. And it's like, where's the action? And he turned as the puck come around the glass and hit him right off the top of the head when he stuck his head out. Oh my gosh. It was just like they stopped the game. Oh, he's bleeding everywhere, you know. I think he was okay and finished the game, but wow. I was watching the Giant Center get built. When the last time I was there, we saw the Giant Center getting built. So it wasn't open when we were there. So that's the last time I was there. I think was it 2000, 2001? I'm not sure when the last time we drove down there. 97? I forget. We went there 3 times, I think. And the last time they were building the Giant Center. So, but Hershey, that's where they got the 100 points for basketball, right?
Yeah, well, Chamberlain, that was where the 100-point game was.
Yep. So, but yeah, so that's my Hershey story. I had a nice Hershey Bear sweatshirt one time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It shrank over the years, but it was so good. I loved that. Was like one of my favorite because it was like the brown with the bear on it, and he had the stick, and it was a really good time there. Minor league hockey's fun, you know. Minor because you can always get tickets. The tickets are cheap, and you kind of don't care, you know, if who wins or not, you know. And yes, I had the Bob Uecker seats a couple times in that place. Yeah, the first year we had good seats. We were behind the net in the balcony.
Is that the year that you got saved by the buddy or whatever? You told that story.
Yeah, the guy that said, "Hey, anybody bugs you, let me know." And then he brought us all down behind the bench. Yeah, that was the first year. Second time we were way up the top, and then the next time we were down a little bit closer, and we saw a stick. Tommy Lehman was playing for Worcester, and he got in a stick swinging fight with somebody. He got like a match penalty, and he never played again after that. It was a nasty game. Yeah. And in fact, I had my video camera. I think I videoed it. I don't know where the hell the film is there, but they wouldn't let you video in there at the time. But I says, man, I got to get this on tape, you know. And so he went to the Giant Center. Yeah. Yep. And we skated there too. Because when we heard you could bring your own skates. So we skated, I don't know if it was before or after the game. I think it was before the game. It was in the afternoon. And we went in there, and it was crazy because I've never skated on a rink with that many stands, you know, and you just skate around a circle and you put on your skates and skate around. But it was weird skating around, seeing all the seats because the rinks I play in are all tiny. You know, you don't look up and see, you know, stuff like that. And so it was fun skating around in there, and just, you know, I think it might even been free. I don't even know if they charge you for it. Just brought your skates. Everything was so laid back in Hershey. Like around here, everything is so uptight. That, you know, but you get down there and everyone's relaxed and having a good time, and the Amish are down there and they're waving near the Pepperidge Farm guy, and you know, everything smells like either chocolate or cow poop. You know, it's one or the other.
Don't taste one expecting the other.
You can smell the cow poop from like 3 cities away when you get close to Hershey. It's like, wow. In fact, you run inside the hotel. It was so bad in some places. Yeah. Let's see, Andrew. I missed this one here. The river frogs. Ooh. There's a couple places like that have hot tubs. There's a couple of baseball and football stadiums, right, that have hot tubs, like Arizona and stuff like that. Yeah, minor league baseball. Yep, and talk to the players. Missouri Mavericks. That was something else. Well, now what was Missouri Mavericks?
Were they like a EC? What league were they in, Mark? They built that arena in Kansas City, and no one moved in.
What was that? That wasn't Kemp Arena, was it?
That was after Kemper. It was a sprint. They were trying to get an NHL or an NBA team to move. Pittsburgh almost moved there.
Oh, really?
Before they got their new relatively new facility built.
Did not know that.
Because Kansas City had, of course, the Scouts, and they had the Kings.
Yeah, well, I read that in the book. The book did a really good job of talking about the Scouts and how where they built the arena was not in the best part of town, and but that was the cheapest place to put it, or whatever the story was. There was a whole story there about what that there. So, yeah, but yeah, I read a lot about the Kansas City thing, and just people weren't wicked thrilled with that,
Wow, Mark went to a game where he saw Gretzky and Hull playing the same line for St. Louis.
That is sweet. I mean, that was towards the end of Gretzky, but it still was pretty cool.
It still passed pretty well.
Yeah. That was a bad St. Louis team, wasn't it?
Was that the team that got beat by Yzerman in the double OT?
Oh, I think you might be right.
The game 7 double OT.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I can't show that. That's for sure. Yeah, Hershey Park Arena was all right. It was old. It was like the Boston Garden. It was kind of yucky like that, but at the same time, Oh, so what are you playing, Jacket? What's everybody else playing? Let's talk about some games. Let's have some good times talking about some games.
Let's see. Today I did California and Kansas City, and California blew them out. I did the video for the rugby game. And tomorrow I have my counselor appointment, so I'm not scheduled to be on until you and I chat tomorrow night. So
okay.
And then we got stuff going on. And of course, the golf game coming out Tuesday. So
yeah, I'm interested to see how different that is. I was going to play some golf today. There's so many things I was going to do today. And then the whole thing with the dog just erased anything I was going to do.
Yeah, I hear you.
So that was a bummer there. But I have a bunch of projects I want to do too.
Oh, here's a good one. So I was listening to Yacht Rock Radio on Sirius XM this morning.
Okay.
And the guy,
I love that.
The guy that does the sweepers is hilarious with the posh voice and all. And so the one I heard,
right, it's like sounds like Kennedy, right?
Yeah,
Yacht Rock.
Yes, Yacht Rock. So today's line was Yacht Rock Radio, a virtual cornucopia of your 4th or 5th favorite song.
And they replayed the same 50 songs, but they're 50 good songs. What was that one, that JoJo song? I forget who it's by. There's a JoJo. Boss Skaggs, JoJo?
Oh, yeah, sounds like a Boss Skaggs. Yeah.
JoJo with no city lights.
Yeah, that's a Boss. Yep, Boss Skaggs.
Yeah, that was
ECHL. Just looked it up. Gretzky played for the Blues for that one season. He was a trade, I think it was, when McNall went broke, right? He went from LA to St. Louis.
Who did?
Gretzky.
Yeah, but what was the name you said?
Bruce McNall. When he went broke as the owner of the Kings.
McNall. Okay. Yeah. You want to see the seats that we had?
Sure.
In Worcester, if I can call this up. All right. So this is row 2. We were just sitting there for this game, but we sat in row 1. So we were in front of this, but this is the view that we had for the Ice Cats games.
Oh, that's just great.
Yeah. Now, again, see the guy in front of us? That's where we usually sat. But we went down for the Railers and just sat in row 2 for one game. But look at that view. I mean, that is you couldn't get a better view for hockey than we had when we had season tickets at the Worcester Ice Cats. That was just, it was like, yeah, that was some good stuff. So that's why we kept getting the season tickets. We didn't make many games, but boy, you couldn't give up those seats.
Yeah, Bill, they started as the Kansas City Omaha Kings, but eventually we're just Kansas City. Now, of course, they're Sacramento.
I think I have the Kansas City Kings in that season that I got today. The basketball team
just played 66-67 Chicago against 93-94 Rangers in shootout hockey, and Wes Durenko scored for Chicago to win the 19th minute of overtime.
Wow, 19. That's cool. Shootout hockey's so good. It really is.
Mr. Forsberg saw the great one get a game misconduct and get ejected against Carolina. What would Gretzky have to do to get ejected?
I don't know if he ever got ejected. I would need to check on this. I'm thinking that might not be a true story.
You know, Wilt Chamberlain never fouled out of a game at any level.
Really?
Yes.
I guess he wouldn't have to because you couldn't shoot the ball over him, right?
Yeah, but you got to be, you still get tired and commit fouls.
Yeah, that's true. I was trying to find some pictures of this other game I went to, but I can't. They're too far back, so that's fine. But again, if you're on Facebook, I can't post your comments here. I haven't seen any new ones come up, so that's good. But yeah, shootout hockey's so good. Andrew, have you tried the helper at all? I think we might have talked a little bit about that. But the helper is real. I mean, it's fun playing on the desktop, but the helper is so good. I showed that off the other night. Didn't I show the helper off? Or was that on Al's show?
I thought you did a video on it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, but you can... I'll just show the helper real quick for anybody that's wondering what the helper is. So, or what shootout hockey is. So if I want to do the Oilers,
you did show it on his channel because
okay. So if I got the 83 Oilers, here we go. So we'll go. So yeah. So if I want to do the there it is right there. So if I wanted to play Oilers and Minnesota from 83, those are the cards, and you would play it right here. Everything's right here. The fast action cards are right here. So if I want to flip the fast I got to put in my goaltenders. So we'll say Fuhrer and Beaupre in net, and now I can start the game. There's my fast action cards. There's my dice, so you can play either way, and you can play the entire game. Now you still need to figure out the scoring chance numbers and the penalty numbers. You still need to do that. But once you have that all set, everything plays right in here, and you just say, okay, 66. So that's a scoring chance for somebody. I forget if it's home or away, and then you could just see if fast hacking card or roll the dice, whatever you wanted to do. You can do either one, but you can play the entire game.
Nice,
right with that helper. You do need to put the teams in. That's one thing you do need to do, but that only takes a second to put them in, and then once they're in, they're in. I have a whole bunch of teams in there. I was doing that the other day. I was adding a bunch of teams in there so I could play.
You're talking about.
Yeah. Tim, glad that you're here. We're never late. We just get here at different times.
That's right. Gretzky, I think, did 2 fights. But he didn't get many.
Yeah, no more Flobies here. We're going to get in trouble for that. Yeah, they do. They upcharge. Yeah, because when I looked at getting the tickets for the new Worcester team, the Railers there, and I knew I wasn't gonna get front row where I got before, but that was more than I was gonna pay because I knew I was gonna miss a lot of games. So I got first row balcony. I still had good seats, but I was like, I sat behind the net for 10 years. I want to sit someplace different, I think, and yeah, even the first 2 rows of the balcony, I think, were a little bit more expensive than the rest of the balcony. But yeah, what are you gonna do? I used to like to sit behind the net. You paid the premium. You saw when they sent out the sheets for the ticket price. It was like this little ring in the first row was like green, and then everything behind it was silver. Like, oh, you son of a bitch! Really, my row? But that's the best row to be in, so they're gonna get premium. Yeah. Well, it kind of is a computer version.
Yeah.
It's a cards and dice game, you know. It's not really to be played automatic. You just keep track of everything. If there's no goal, there's no goal. If there's a goal, you write it in. This is kind of how it goes. So, but yeah, I told you I want to do 83 Oilers and Devils, and I'm going to do 94 playoffs, Flames and Canucks. I might even do some Flames and Oilers. That'd be a good year. Oh, you're able to see the Red Wings at the Joe. Oh, nice. There was a video I saw on YouTube that obviously I can't play, I don't think, but it was a guy that him and his buddies snuck into. Which one were they tearing down? Was that the Joe?
The Joe.
And they snuck in while they were ripping it apart, and they walked up to all the luxury suites, and they get into like some of the boxes, and I don't know if they get into the owner's box but they were in there, and it was like, ooh, private bathrooms and private bars, and you could see the game, and they were sneaking, and they got caught, but the guy that caught him was kind of cool, and he goes, all right, I'll take you around to some places, but then you got to go, and they're like, okay, we'll be cool. He said, just don't touch anything. So he showed him around, and they got all this video footage, you know. And it was kind of neat. So the guy could have been a jerk, but he goes, we bought the place, and that's what it was. He goes, I'm the guy that bought the place, and I'm part of the
demo crew,
the law firm that's in charge of like selling all this stuff.
Oh, like for all the Steiner auctions and stuff like that.
So they said, well, if we plug your stuff with your website and email and all that, will you show us around? So that's what they did. And so the guy's like, yep, I'm with this company. Here's where you can find us. So we're selling all this stuff here. So if you know, I don't know what they were selling exactly, but he's like, yep. So we've been, assigned with this job. So yep, promote me and I'll show you around. It was just fun. It was like, cool. That was really kind of cool.
Mark, it's an individual program. That one, the Shootout Helper, is not a spreadsheet. It's an actual program.
Yeah, it's just it's not a on the spreadsheet. It's a entire program set up just for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And in theory, now that I think about it, because what you do is you need to put in the card image, and then you need to put in the roster, and then a smaller logo. So there's 3 files you need to put in. In theory, you could put in whatever image you want, whatever player roster you want, and play something and keep stats in that game if you wanted to. It's just a stat keep is what it is.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need to roll the dice with the cards because you could just count the time down, and when it's a goal, put in the goal for who. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to, if you wanted to keep stats and you had a game that you want to keep stats for, you could upload a fictitious image or just an image with all the names on it, and then as long as the text file has everybody you're playing, if somebody scored a goal at a certain time, you could just count it down and put in the time, and it would create a box score for you. It wouldn't keep standings. It's a box score generator, but it would work.
Nothing. Do we get those at sportsreplay.net?
Sportsreplays.net. Yeah, click on downloads. And then go to the Mike Sealock page, and it's at the new games are at the bottom. And that one, what was that new hockey game called?
Downtime.
And it was minor leagues.
But down net, but get down.
Yeah. So sportsreplays.net is where it is on. I think it's page 3 if it matters, but it's on the download page. So, yeah. So we could probably wrap this up here tonight. We did an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm tired from working outside. I am, and then I talked to a buddy of mine for about half hour or so tonight, and I tried to play that basketball game. I couldn't figure it out, so I want to check out that text. And I think I'm going to do this tonight, Jucket. I think I'm going to try to see if I can figure out this downtime game and see if I could mock up some of these teams.
I bet you could. I bet you'd have a good time with that.
Even just a couple of teams. I know the Ice Cats would be terrible, but that would be added to my terrible team list. But they had a couple of good seasons. They made it to the playoffs, so I could maybe do one of those seasons. But yeah, I want to see how hard that is. I'm going to read those instructions again, and see about coming up with some results. Right?
Sportsreplays.net, Mark. Oh, the Shootout Helper.
Shootout Helper. Oh. Yeah. Okay.
That's not sportsreplays.net.
No. but I do have it. This is where you find that.
We'll put it in the chat.
Oh, what is this stupid thing here? So that's where you would find the shootout helper. It's a Google site, Steeler 8643, and it's at the very bottom. There is there's a couple of football games, and then there's some other hockey thing, and at the very bottom, there's the shootout helper. Well, I'm going to check it out. It looks like you just looked for goals, total goals, and divide by 3, and goals against, divide by 3.
Complicated.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing about, the AHL was good because a lot of those guys did go hard.
They play hard.
They did go up, but it was fun because some guys would come down too. They would send down some of the pros, and you'd see them play too, even though they were not happy to be there. The ECHL, that was different though. That those guys, very few of those guys are going to go up. That was just one of those leagues. It's like you come out of college, and if you couldn't make the AHL and you went to the East Coast League, it was so hard to get out of that and move up. It really was. And then from there, it was even harder to go to the top, unless there was injuries. Because there was one year that I remember that the St. Louis Blues were affiliated with Worcester, and Worcester was affiliated with, oh boy, I'm not sure who they were affiliated with. They had I don't remember the team. It was an East Coast Hockey League team. Both St. Louis goalies got hurt. So they called up both Worcester goalies. Both Worcester goalies got hurt. So they had a kid from the East Coast Hockey League. So whoever the farm team of the Worcester Ice Cats was playing in net for St. Louis. Yeah, no, Bruce and Laura, who was the Ice Cats farm team that they drew from? That's what I'm wondering, because that's the goalie they called up to play in St. Louis. In fact, I think I wrote an article about that in one of the magazines. That was one of the things, is that all the goalies were hurt. Peoria Rivermen? Was that the East Coast team? That might have been. It might have been Peoria. So, but yeah, so they had a kid that was East Coast Hockey League playing in the NHL for a couple of games until somebody was able to play. They had their 4 best goalies hurt, the 2 in St. Louis and the 2 in Worcester. So, and that's too bad, because if you were in Worcester, if you were one of the minor league goalies, that's what you wanted. You wanted to go play, and then you're hurt. So it's like, oh man. Radek Bonk in the IHL, Las Vegas, Chicago Wolves. I have a Chicago Wolves shirt, and I have a Las Vegas shirt, Las Vegas Thunder. I have both of those shirts there, Bears Den. So yeah, pew pew.
I sent it Big Clue. He's going to love it. Thank you.
So I think I've had those. I've had the Wolves here, and I've had the Las Vegas Thunder. But yeah, if you play shootout hockey, try that helper out. If you have any questions, let me know. I also did a video on that as well.
Nice.
And it's easy. You gotta just scan the picture in. I use a screen capture program. Just save it as the right size, and then you put in a text file with that team. You just got to put like the team name and the year, and make sure it's just all in the order they asked for it. And once you do 1, you can do 100. It's easy. Yeah. No joke. Ron, are you taking care of yourself?
Trying to.
Yeah, ECHL is tough. I watched it for a couple of years. I didn't renew my season tickets. It was tough. AA baseball's like, I think we up to the Portland Sea Dogs. I don't know if they were AA or AAA, but it was a double. It was like, man, when I saw them when I was younger, I was like, man, I could almost play out there. Really, it was yucky baseball. Yeah, some of these leagues are equivalent to minor leagues. Some minor leagues are minor. It's the one step away. And other minor leagues are just, well, you can play hockey. You can make, $50,000 a year playing hockey, but it's not a lot of people watching you. So it's without that, What do you say? Good to see you, Philip. We're just kind of chatting away here on a Sunday night. Probably wrap this up in a few minutes. I wonder who's on tonight. Who's doing what? There's been a lot of streaming going on A lot of guys been on doing their games.
Yep.
So I bet you somebody's on right now. So we'll go check that out. So yeah. So why don't we wrap up here? We had a nice little calm conversation tonight. I'm a little beat myself from being outside. Second day in a row I was outside. And then the stress of the dog ain't helping either. But you know, there was peace of mind getting him to the vet today. There was some peace of mind. That's the thing, is that, you know, they didn't have any answers for us, but there was nothing glaring anyway, you know. So it's not like, oh my gosh, you know, something like that. So
it was Peoria, and then they became an AHL team.
Okay, I remember Peoria as the AHL team. So yeah. Cyclones. I had a guy that played with me for one season in my league that was a minor league player, and he played with Cincinnati for half the season 2 years ago, I think. He was so good. This guy, big, tall guy, so good. And he played with Cincinnati. Scored a couple goals
too.
Oh my god! Like in our league, we're all just a bunch of bums, and he would like back check and just take the puck from me. Like, what are you doing? You know why? You know, and then, but he didn't score 100 goals. He just would pass it to everybody. He was like really good, so people liked him because he was.
Yeah,
he could, you know, he was just obviously the best guy that ever played up there, and he was just local guy, just skating around having some fun. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, I would imagine so, Robbie. Have a good night, Bruce and Laura.
Bye, Bruce and Laura. Thanks for stopping by. Cyclones must have been fun. Yeah, minor league hockey was always
fun. Gardens, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's wrap this up here, Ron. We'll go get on with our night and let everybody go do something else. And I'm going to go play around here on my spreadsheet, I think, and see what I can find.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if I can figure it out. But look, if the first few sets of directions weren't too bad, but no one else. If I can't do it, I can't do it. It's no big deal. So, but yeah, $12 tickets. Yep, they're pretty inexpensive, and sometimes they are. I mean, there's a lot of sharing going on. Even in the AHL, you get a team that has guys from, you know, Boston and guys from Philadelphia. Sometimes it all depends, because it's really more about developing guys, and so there's a lot of sharing going on. Even in the ECHL, you get, you know, this, you know, when he gets called up, he doesn't always go to one team. He might go to this team or this team, or whatever. So it's all, if the minor leagues aren't, you know, it's not like the NHL. So anyways, with everybody, thanks for tuning in on this Sunday. Is the sun goes down over here. Oh, it's still kind of light out. 8 o'clock. It's still kind of light out.
4, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. We had a busy day over here, but a sunny day. So we will talk to everybody later. No stream from Ron tomorrow. I hope to be on, depending what happens with the dog and how upset the wife is. I might try to do something tomorrow, whether it's some shootout or some golf or something. But I'll try to get on tomorrow at some point, and then we'll be back on tomorrow night, hopefully. And same bad time. So
same bad channel.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night.